Yaroslavl is one of the oldest Russian cities. In Russia, Yaroslavl is a popular touristic center because it is the capital of the Golden Ring of Russia, popular touristic theme route consisting of old and historical cities in central part of Russia. In Yaroslavl, there are a lot of signs reminding of this, so it's impossible to forget about that fact. Moreover, in Yaroslavl there is the 0 kilometer of Golden Ring of Russia, from which you can go to other cities of this popular touristic route. Officially there are 8 cities, but sometimes some old ones identify themselves as the cities of Golden Ring too, which may be well deserved. Cities of Golden Ring form the Union of Golden Ring cities, where the mayor of Yaroslavl is the president of the union. So here, at that popular touristic route, all roads lead to Yaroslavl, not to Rome. What else Yaroslavl famous for? You can see pictures of that cities in Russian 1000 rubles banknote. For example, here you can see the monument of Yaroslavl the Wise, Grand Prince or Великий Князь of Kiev in 11th century. He was a founder of Yaroslavl city and founded it at 1010. Now this city is the oldest one on the Volga river. And here you can see the chapel of Our Lady of Kazan, one of the most revered icons in Orthodoxy. Against the background of these sides you can see the Spaso-Preobrazhensky monastery. Nowadays it is the museum which we will visit later. Now our day started near these beautiful sides of that great, awesome city. At the morning walks we got caught in the rain. Waiting for some time under the roofs of all churches, we continued our way along the high embankment with wonderful panoramical views. As you may know, the bad weather for a tourist is not a reason to miss the day, especially if it's the only day. Here it is the Cathedral Church of Yaroslavl, which is completely new, but it can show us how the golden domes of Russian churches make an image of the city. Just imagine how it may look in rays of light. This church is located near the park of 1000 years of Yaroslavl, opened in 2010. In local language it calls Strelka, which we may translate as a row. The shape of this place is similar to it. It's because of 2 rivers, Volga and Kotorosl, where Kotorosl flows into Volga. For our happiness we continue day with the sun. The Park of 1000 Years of Yaroslavl is one of the most famous and beautiful places in that city. Located on the crossing of 2 rivers, this place has a beautiful natural view despite a well-made landscape design. In free time, local people like to spend their time there. We may say for sure that it is one of the most popular places in the city, and this is not surprising. Hope that from our pictures you may find this place as a really perfect area for spend your time, meeting friends, walking with children or have a dating, for example. In the top of that park it is a monument of 1000 years of Yaroslavl, where people can see the most important historical persons for the history of that city. Reliefs show the pictures of Yaroslavl's long history and including stories and legends about its life. So visit that place for sure and have fun here. Decided to go to the city center, we found ourselves near the church of Ilya the Prophet. According to the legend, it is the first church in Yaroslavl, and from that place and that church the history of the city was started. That building was built in 17th century, and inside you can see beautiful mural paintings, traditional for Russian churches. In my mind, it's one of the beautifulest churches I've ever seen, and you really need to visit this place to be fascinated by it. Now, let's look on it. No more words, just observing. The story of city's plan is strictly connected with the Empress Ekaterina II, who carried out reforms of the urban system of Russian cities in 18th century. You can find the reminding of that in this monument. The city is old, but it's living with nowadays life too. For example, after historical sites we decided to go to the exhibition of modern art sculpture, located in one of the parks in the city. Such modernity lives with historical buildings, and it's very interesting. Then, again, beautiful sights of the river. The walking through the embankment here is one of the best doing for perfect time spending. Observing amazing places around it, you will be amazed by it. That's the very important fact that Yaroslavl has a beautiful nature inside, what makes the picture of that city more better. For Russian cultural history, Yaroslavl is important because right here it was the first professional theater in Russia. The theater of drama, named by its founder Fyodor Volkov, is one of the most famous Russian theaters now. Now it's working, showing performances, so if you have time you can visit it and appreciate famous Russian theater school. But if you haven't, it's better to visit that place for see its architecture. Not far from here is the central pedestrian street, and by it we returned back to the Spaso-Preobrazhensky monastery. To be honest, in the beginning we thought that this place is a Kremlin. After short researching, our guess is not confirmed, and it's not surprising. Old monasteries in Russia usually seem as impregnable fortresses with huge walls and loopholes in it. To see the city from a high point, we decided to go to the top of the bell tower. Humans' dream about sky is realized through the desire to go higher and higher, and we didn't stop it. 32 meters of local bell tower is not the highest place, but from that point the way of observing changes and you can find really perfect place to see the city from another side. Compare the view from our 1.5 meters or 2 meters of height and the view from 32 meters. All places are opening as a new. Another view on big cathedral church and other old churches of Yaroslavl. It's one thing to wander around parks and another to observe these parks from above. Unfortunately, you won't be able to hear the ringing of bells here. Now this place is a museum, so they only serve as exhibits. The Spaso-Preobrazhensky monastery was found in 12th century. In 16th the walls were built. This monastery was a favorite place for visiting of Russian Tsar Ivan the Terrible, who visited it very often. By the way, the wall paintings here are the oldest ones in Russia, and they have been preserved here since the time of Ivan's reign. In 1612, from that monastery, the Opolchenie of Minin Pozharsky, a very important event in Russian history, continued its way to Moscow. Now this monastery is fully a museum. In all buildings there are different exhibitions. In some you can find the legacy of the ancient masters, but in some others there are exhibitions of works of masters of nowadays. For example, in one of the buildings we found the exposition of famous and popular Russian artist Vasya Loshkin, who is living in Yaroslavl. In his pictures in comic form, through the strange characters, people and animals, he illustrates the picture of modern Russia, with all good and bad sides of society, and for Russians most of his pictures on the one hand are really funny, but on the other hand make them think about something. But if you don't reflect about something said, Loshkin's works are really cool. Of course, this museum has its own beer, we are in Russia. But unfortunately, the beer Masha had a weekend in the day of our visit, so we hadn't a chance to meet her. That's the reason to visit this place again. We had a short time before leaving Yaroslavl. What we should do? Enough old, we decided to go to amusement park. Ferris wheel The Golden Ring is one of the highest in Russia. Here Dream About Sky is coming again, but now for 65 meters, twice higher than it was before. From this point, Yaroslavl again opens as a beautiful and wonderful city. From here you have a chance to observe it again and again, and it's really nice. The wheel is going slow, so it's time to think about trip day again. Yes, Yaroslavl is really wonderful. Put it in your travel map and welcome to Russia. Hope to see you here.